Acts 19:24 through 29. I am here to destroy the evil, and if one clings on to that evil so fanatically, let them be sealed in earth and destroyed. I'm here to fulfill my destiny by being a light and struggling to be the light on the stand. And if I get snuffed out in the process, certainly it is the billions of people on this earth with me. The only equality they have is where they shouldn't have it. And that is the ability to kind of speak, their freedom of speech. They have an opportunity to be heard. They have an equal opportunity, more or less, to be heard. Okay. And they abuse it together. They put it all together. They come together to suppress me instead of embrace truth. So this video is about embracing morality versus embracing worldly power and sex cult ideologies. Trickle down, pedo energy, sex cult ideologies. Your boss gives you a talk, pecking order, right? He pecks you in a certain way. In that same spirit, you peck the next man, and so on and so forth. There's a lot of this goes around, comes around, and then there's the guy who's hovering above. Ra, hover, Jehovah, Jehovah, Jah as the moon, the left eye of Horus, but it's as interpreted by them as nothing more than a rape cult deity. As interpreted by me, it is the heavens declaring the glory of God. God isn't the moon, God isn't the sun. They declare the glory of God, and the sun is like the elephant in the room, the leopard in the tree of life, and so on and so forth. I want you to focus on this part. Gods made by human hands are no gods at all. Gods made by human hands. Was it the gym that forged me? And the scientists that made the gym? No, I don't go to the gym. Was it some Western coach with a whistle around his neck? Hey guys, look, do it like this, like this, like this. No. Was it a gay guy? No. Was it a Republican? No. Human hands did not forge me, mind, body, soul, and spirit. It was God. My dad was holding me as a baby. I was sensing, hey, there's something good about that. What I was clinging on to wasn't Luciferian energy like so many of you who come from bad trees that refuse to admit it. Again, I have to destroy the evil. And that requires being honest about it. The way, the truth, and the life. It was the goodness in my dad's heart that I was like a path. It was like a light leading up to heaven. And I extracted that. And it helped me understand why ill-gotten gains are wrong. When God reveals himself to Moses, I am who I am. I am this. I am that. How could one reject this interpretation? Even if you are to say that that's not what the Bible is saying, how could you say that that doesn't matter at all? You may as well say, I am a bird and jump off a cliff. Reminds me of the story of the preacher, the priest who says that through God anything is possible, and he wants to show his congregation that he can walk on water, and then he drowns. He dies. Because he did not get it through his head that you are not the top martial artist. And miracles come through the true African martial arts system. Hebrew is an Afro-Asiatic dialect. African first. Afro-Asiatic. Okay? And Asiatic, why? Because they spread the message into the Middle East and through Israel and so on and so forth. And there's Middle Asia, and these guys trade. So in the trade, there's a bunch of guys standing there. It's like a Mr. Miyagi listening to Shaka Zulu times 10. Okay? And then he goes to Asia and starts teaching them something. But obviously, it is useless without the source, which rhymes with the force for a reason. The core spirit of God. The one spirit, the one conveyance, the alpha conveyance. Again, betas is beast scrambled, the whore that rode the betas. So now let's read Acts 19:24 through 29. A silversmith. What did he do? He was a silversmith. You'll see people named Silverstein. Goldsmith. Goldstein. A silversmith named Demetrius, who made silver shrines of Artemis, Diana, brought in a lot of business for the craftsmen there. For the craftsmen. It's a silversmith named Demetrius who made silver shrines of Artemis, who brought in a lot of business for the craftsmen there. He called them together, along with the workers in related trades, and said, you know, my friends, that we receive a good income from this business. What are they concerned with? What is America concerned with? Is it a religious system or is it a crony capitalist system? Why can't you people see that? Why can't you see that your controlled opposition church or interpretation is not enough? Why can't you see that? Why are you so dull? Why can't you see that playing stupid is stupid? When you die, you're going to tell God, well, I thought playing stupid was a good idea. When he said, declare the glory of God from the rooftops. Who puts a light under a bowl or a bushel? When Jesus carried his cross for all to see. When Peter is said to be crucified upside down, was he playing stupid? Was Stephen playing stupid when he was stoned to death? How can you then think that playing stupid is smart? Did Stephen start crying with a thong and say, but Jesus died for my sins. I can play stupid like a bitch, like a beta craftsman worm? How can you then pretend that that is the true path of God, you hypocrites, you snakes? A silversmith named Demetrius, who made silver shrines of Artemis, brought in a lot of business for the craftsmen there. He called them together along with the workers in related trades and said, you know, my friends, that we receive a good income from this business. And you see and hear how this fellow Paul has convinced and led astray. In this meaning of the word, in its truest interpretation of the story, he led alpha astray. He's straying away from the beta craftsman bitch. He led them toward the alpha spirit of God, the alpha and the omega, the beginning, the martial art beginning before Abraham. I am a martial artist. Before your sex cult craftsman bitch, I am a martial artist. Then you chased them away. You all got together and overwhelmed. We're the craftsmen. After they've been fighting all the wars and protecting you in the true spirit of righteousness, you overwhelmed them. You poisoned them. You used bow and arrows with little Artemis thongs on. Artemis is an archer, a deity of the hunt. Haunt. Hunting black people, lynching them, lynch and lunch. He says, and you see and hear how this fellow Paul has convinced and led astray large numbers of people here in Ephesus, and in practically the whole province of Asia. He says that gods made by human hands are no gods at all. Your craftsmen, bitch, like Hephaestus, Vulcan, and Zeus, they are no gods at all. Your Greek societies are the societies of cowards that refuse to give people like me the rightful place, as every year they output more and more graduates to go be secularist evil scum. Your Greek societies are not in the Spirit of God. Your secret societies are not in the Spirit of God. Your churches are not in the Spirit of God. They're in the spirit of the craft. It is craftsmen of Satan who has built their churches. There is danger not only that our trade will lose its good name, honor as reputation from their point of view, versus fighting for honor in the true marshaling alpha male spirit of God, the natural and supernatural spirit. But also that the temple of the quote-unquote, now she's a despicable craftsman harlot, mind you, a whore that rides the beta craftsman ninnies from rich to poor. But also that the temple of the great goddess, quote-unquote, Artemis, will be discredited, and the goddess herself, who is worshipped throughout the province of Asia and the world, will be robbed of her divine majesty. Satan is like a democratized beast, and the Greco-Roman deities are part of the beast characteristic, the multi-headed beast. It's worshipped throughout the whole world. Will be robbed of her divine majesty. Where? In reality? No, they are artisans. The art, illusion, the craft, crafty, snake, sneaky, cunning. When they heard this, they were furious. What got them up? What made them rise up? When they heard this, they were furious and began shouting, "Great is Artemis of the Ephesians." Soon the whole city was in an uproar. The people seized Gaius and Aristarchus, Paul's traveling companions from Macedonia, and all of them rushed into the theater together. Into the theater. This story is called Acts. It's scripture. Psalms. Acts. Play. Play. Gender neutral Greeks playing men and women in the theater. And it evolves into this incident. And it evolves into the modern day Hollywood that we have today. Over there in San Francisco, the Art Museum, the Grand Lodge of Masonry, the Craft. It's part of their provider argument. You've got to be able to take care of a woman financially. Provide, D-E, evil, E-V-I-L, effeminate, emasculate. You get it. Crafty, shifty, shady, and so on. Proposal. Propose. L-A-L. Proposition. Proposition. Your stance. Is it an archer stance? An elfin archer? Or is it skywalking? Sky law king. Projectiles. There's a bunch of craftsmen. We're going to chase them out of there. We're going to make some kind of slingshot, some kind of bow and arrow, some kind of musket. And we're going to chase them out of there. Artemis, the deity of the hunt. The haunt, the hint, haunt, hunt, hone, T, which is the feminine suffix, which is also the cross that Jesus is crucified on. A weapon of Roman oppression that symbolizes facing Roman and worldly oppression in the true spirit of God. Witchcraft, switchcraft, white sea, with sea, craft, vessel, blood vessel. The crowd, crow, a symbol of the dead. And the D, the reproductive cycle of the dead. David, day, vi, D, the root and the offspring of the day, not of the crow. They said, seize him. Okay, they seized him. Where is this part? I don't know. The people seized Gaius. Instead of the king saying, you lowly craftsman, how dare you suggest we do it your ethnocentric way? Seize him. It's a bunch of bitches with worldly greed saying, we're going to lose money. Seize him. Acting like pussy-ass cowards because God is a great warrior, not a craftsman that deals in illusion, which is what they all do now. Democracy is said to be mob rule. Demos, meaning people. Demos as a root for demon. They have put themselves above the warrior class. David, a warrior king. Moses and Joshua, Jericho, warriors, warriors, warriors. Jesus came to bring a sword, not a trowel. Warrior, 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 warrior. All read Psalms. It's like 168 chapters or something. On and on and on. Warrior, warrior. God is a warrior. God is defending me. In the true spirit of God, we beat them, we beat them, we beat them. On and on about how God's a warrior. Jesus said, I did not come to say God isn't a warrior, you fucking beta Pharisee cowards. I came to fulfill that warrior spirit and to get you sniveling worms to man up. The Father with heart sent me, not the mob of craftsmen cowards. That's what he said. Dying for morality versus benefiting the most from this craftsman world of immorality. Skilled laborers who have been trained every generation to conform and to be like a yes, me Lord present from Warcraft 2. Yes, me Lord. Yes, me Lord. To be a sniveling, conformed to evil coward. When he said be meek, he didn't say be meek and conform to the evil. He said be meek when faced with the Lord and the Lord's guidance. That's what he was getting at. Who cares what anybody's... Paul wrote that. I don't care if Paul actually contradicts me. Before Paul, I am. I am from the true line of God, not him. He's from a long line of Roman traitors. Who is saying this versus who is saying that? The Bible is Bible. I am of God, not ball.